Hey and welcome to the Daily Man United News show. Let's begin with our daily news. Tanhaag is happy and satisfied after the win over Arsenal. Erik Tanhaag was delighted with his team's mentality in their 3-1 win over Arsenal. Manchester United were devastating on the break and caught the Gunners off guard plenty of times. Despite surrendering the majority of possession, Tanhaag's side looked dangerous every time they got hold of the ball. Antony's debut goal had Old Trafford on its feet. Marcus Rashford again showed how dangerous he is in transition, scoring an excellent brace. Tanhaag spoke after the game. "We are happy, satisfied with the win and the performance against a really good team in Arsenal. This team can deal with setbacks and that is great. We have really improved on that. We have the right characters. Now get the reliance in and get the belief. There is still room for improvement. You can see Arsenal's routines are there, but our team spirit brings us the win. When we got beaten in the press, we fought back and we were good in transition. We can still do things better with pressing. We had a good plan, but the incoming from Zinchenko, for instance, that gives them overnumbering in midfield. We can be more composed on the ball, don't give it away." The Dutchman heaped praise on Rashford, who was electrifying yesterday. "He was brilliant. It was a great performance from him. As a striker, he is pressing, but when we played over him, he made the right decisions. I am really happy because he has invested a lot." Robbie Mustoe hails Manchester United star Christian Eriksen. Speaking after Manchester United vs Arsenal, former England international Robbie has hailed the recent performances of Danish midfielder Christian Eriksen and the difference he had made to the club's midfield. "I mean, absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. He makes the whole team look different," Robbie said. Fellow NBC analyst Robbie early pressed on the developing Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes midfield connection, which has given a new balance to the United team under Erik Tanhaag, with the understanding between the pair truly evident in the game against Arsenal. "The connection between Eriksen and Bruno is something new, different, and makes Manchester United better," Robbie added. Christian Eriksen played a huge role with a split pass to Bruno Fernandes with the first goal and was continuously testing the Arsenal high line with his long range of passing. For the third goal, the Danish midfielder timed his run to excellence on a Bruno Fernandes through ball and showed composure and experience in setting up Marcus Rashford to settle the win for the night. After playing as a false nine in the first game against Brentford, it seems like Tanhaag has found the best position for the player in the midfield, which allows him to dictate the play more, and with each passing game, he looks more assured with the role asked. Playing as a deep-lying midfielder or a quarterback, Eriksen has shown his defensive attributes in consonance with his attacking prowess. He's constantly running both ends of the box and has actually covered more distance per 90 minutes than any other Manchester United player in the first 5 league games. A proactive press from the front is a big requirement for manager Erik Tanhaag, and he would be pleased to see the grit and intensity being shown by the former Tottenham Hotspur man. Erik Tanhaag is full of praise for Manchester United star Antony. Speaking in the post-match interview as quoted by Manchester Evening News, Manchester United boss Erik Tanhaag was full of praise for a new signing Antony after the talented Brazilian made a goal-scoring debut against Arsenal yesterday. Tanhaag decided to put his faith in Antony as he named the talented Brazilian in his starting 11 for such an important clash. The Brazilian repaid his manager's faith, scoring the Red Devils' first goal after an assist from Marcus Rashford. Rashford was one of Man United's best players last night, setting up the opener for Antony before scoring a brace. It was a welcome return to form for a player who has struggled in recent months, and he will be glad that the Brazilian converted his smart pass. Erik Tanhaag was visibly very happy with the shift that Antony put in, but admitted that the Brazilian was still building up to speed for the new season. "I know what he can be. I talked before the game. We needed that in the right wing. With his pace, his dribbles, his pressing capabilities, he's really good with that. We have seen that. At this moment, he lacks a little bit of power. He missed some training in preseason, an injury, then the last 10 days, but you can see his potential. He has to work for it to get that. The intensity of the Premier League is going to be high and a challenge for him," Tanhaag said. In a saga that went on for almost the entirety of the transfer window, Man United finally managed to sign Antony for a huge sum after Ajax agreed to sell their star asset. Erik Tanhaag, who has been pushing to have the Brazilian in his squad, must feel vindicated. The former Ajax star is just 22 years and 129 days, which makes him the youngest Brazilian to get on the scoresheet in his first Premier League appearance via Opta, and we all hope it's the first of many. Marcus Rashford reacts to Manchester United win over Arsenal. Marcus Rashford scored a double against Arsenal, secured a fourth consecutive win for Manchester United in the Premier League, and has put the Reds just 3 points behind current league leaders. Manchester United have seen a sudden rise in form after the initial dismal start to the season and entered the fixture with 3 consecutive wins in a row. Arsenal, on the other hand, were the clear favourites coming into the game, having seen an unbeaten run of 5 wins and sat atop the league with 15 points. With 2 goals and an assist, Marcus Rashford looks back to his very best, oddly against a club where he first announced himself on the big stage. And speaking to Sky Sports post the win over Arsenal, the Manchester United player was full of praise for the team effort. It was a big test for us. We showed up and stood up to the challenge. We can be proud of ourselves. It's good to get into a rhythm, Rashford said. Marcus Rashford had an impressive pre-season and has looked sharp since the season started. He played an influential part in our win over Liverpool and has gotten accustomed to playing as a central attacker ever since Anthony Martial has been injured. Rashford has shown his value to the club numerous times, and yesterday was another such occasion. He is clearly central to Erik Tanhaag's plans moving forward, and we can be hopeful that his fine form continues when we travel to our next away fixture against Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. The Glazers put £3.75 billion price tag on Manchester United. The Glazer family would reportedly be willing to sell Manchester United for around £3.75 billion. According to Mike Keegan via the Daily Mail, the American owners have set a price tag for the sale of United. The relatively low amount could tempt the Emirates to make an offer. The report goes on to state the purchase of Man United is well within the range of a sovereign wealth fund such as Dubai, which is yet to follow Abu Dhabi, Man City and Saudi Arabia Newcastle, in adding a top-flight club to its portfolio. The Emirate is rumored to be a contender. Other buyers would also be tempted to invest at such a great price. It would benefit the club as the new owner could use his remaining resources in other valuable areas like the development of Old Trafford. Man United are a cash cow for the Glazers, who have never put in a single penny of their own money into the club. The team's downfall on the pitch has been a direct result of a lack of structure. The recent takeover news saw the owners panic and splurge over £100 million in the last 2 weeks of the transfer window. While Casemiro and Antony are brilliant signings, it yet again shows a lack of planning from United. Fans will be hoping that a new owner would be willing to invest his time and money in hiring the best in class in all departments. The relentless Glazer, our protest, will eventually cause a reaction, and we hope the owners will listen and sell the club. Manchester United transfer target discussed his future. Manchester United target Ruben Neves has discussed his future at Wolves and how close he was to move this summer. According to Sky Sports, Manchester United were interested in making a move for Wolves midfielder Neves during the summer transfer window. A move failed to materialize, and Neves will now be staying at Wolves at least until January. However, it wasn't always certain that he'd be staying at the club, and the Portuguese midfielder has now spoken out about how close he was to leaving Wolves. At that time, almost everything was ready for me to go, but this is football and you can see I am completely focused on being here, said Neves, speaking to the Express and Star via Shropshire Star. Neves hasn't mentioned it if he was close to joining a specific club, but it appears that he was exciting to leave Wolves this summer. The Wolves midfielder is a professional, and there is no doubt he will give his all for his club whilst he's still there, but it will be interesting to see what the future holds for him, and if Manchester United reignite their interest in the coming years. Wenger agreed personal terms with Man United, but another club are expected to try signing him in January. PSV winger Cody Gakpo agreed personal terms with Manchester United in the summer transfer window and was also very close to joining Leeds United, according to Fabrizio Romano. Writing in his Caught Offside column, Romano explained precisely what went on with Gakpo this summer, as Man United were close to a deal for him but were only ready to pull the trigger if they failed to bring in their top target Antony. In the end, the Red Devils managed to sign Antony from Ajax, meaning there was no deal for Gakpo, though it seems Leeds also made a late attempt to bring the highly rated young Netherlands international to the Premier League. The move couldn't quite be done, however, with Leeds now expected to try again for Gakpo in January, according to Romano. Cody Gakpo had an agreement on personal terms with Manchester United. He had this dream of Man United, but for the club, he was only a backup option in case they couldn't sign Antony, Romano explained. Still, Gakpo is a player who has always been on Man United's list, and they were prepared to bid for him in case the Antony deal didn't happen. On Leeds' pursuit of Gakpo, Romano added, in the last 24 hours of the transfer window, Leeds did something important around lunchtime. Southampton submitted a proposal for Gakpo, but during negotiations between Southampton and PSV, Leeds made a really important bid, which was accepted by PSV. The player also agreed personal terms with Leeds, but Louis van Gaal called the player and told him that the best option was to stay at PSV before the World Cup and then move in January or next summer. This Van Gaal call was really important for Gakpo, and that's why the deal collapsed. Still, Leeds had a flight ready for Gakpo. Everything was ready, but it collapsed. Gakpo was one step away from Leeds, and I am told they will try again in January. But it will be an open race because he is a top talent and there is a lot of interest. I will be uploading daily Man United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.